No, no, no.
Hey everybody, I'm John Duncan with Tejas Imagery and Media Services, and this is the beginning of what I hope will become a realtor marketing course, okay? We're gonna start with some very extremely basic stuff you probably already know, but I still hope you might learn a thing or two, especially the newer realtors out there that are just coming into the market. This is all stuff that your more senior people probably already know, but I want to make this all inclusive, okay? Our goal with this, before we get done, some of these may be short and sweet, some of them may be an hour long, okay? My goal is to try to do one of these per week, and I'm doing these completely for free. I'm sorry I'm hot and sweaty, but believe it or not, real estate photography is hot, sweaty work. It really is. But anyway, my goal is to do one of these per week for you guys. And the idea behind it, we're not charging a dime for it, okay? It is completely free. All I want you to do is smash that like button, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and make sure you're here for future episodes, okay? We want as many people as possible to see this because number one, we love seeing people succeed, okay? It's just the right thing to do. So we firmly believe that. Number two, if you succeed, we succeed. Yeah, we want you to become customers of Tejas Imagery and Media Services. Whether you become a client of ours or not, guess what? We want you to succeed. Whether you use us for your imagery or not, we want you to succeed. So we're giving this stuff away. We see a ton of realtors, both well-established and brand new, that simply do marketing wrong, plain and simple. And you know what? How many thousands of realtors do you think are in the Houston area? Okay, I'll give you a second to think about that. Yeah, a whole lot. Some would say too many. I've heard a lot of realtors say that, too many. Okay, so what sets you apart from the thousands of others just like you in this industry? You know what? The definition of insanity. We've all heard it, you know, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, let's change that definition just a hair. The definition of insanity should be doing the same thing everybody else is doing, but expecting better results. Why would you do that? When you go to real estate school, okay, how much marketing training do you really get? Practically none. Yeah, you learn a lot of law, you learn a lot of contracts, you learn about comps and all that kind of stuff. You spend a lot of time on that, but there's not a whole lot of time spent on marketing. And even if there is, when you go to school and everybody comes out of that place doing the same thing, how does that affect you as a realtor? If you're doing the same thing everybody else is doing, but you're expecting a different result, yeah, that's the definition of insanity. We don't want you to be insane anymore. We want you to set yourself apart. We want you to kill it in this market. Plain and simple. That's why we're doing this, okay? Yeah, it's a lot of work, but you know what? It's worth it. And I apologize in advance. There are gonna be some weeks where we just don't make it, okay? Because we are extremely busy, okay? We serve hundreds and hundreds of, if not 1,000 or more now, in the Houston area, okay? We're one of the largest real estate photography companies in this area. So yeah, we're really busy. So forgive me in advance. I don't mean that as an excuse. We're going to try to do this once a week, okay? And if I can do it more often, I will. If I can't, I won't. So make sure you're subscribed to this channel, because we're gonna give you a lot of information that a lot of people would charge you a lot of money for. And we're doing it completely for free because we want you to succeed. Let me introduce you to two fabulous ladies. This is our photographer, Christy Sartell, and Christy is getting our listing ready for photos at this point, okay? Notice what she's doing with the blinds. She's angling them just a little up. That way we get some light on the ceiling, okay? It just helps things out a whole lot. And this is the fabulous realtor, Rhonda Quillen with eXp Realty. And what I want to do now is go through and let you guys know things like this. This should not be there. Okay, it looks like light bulbs or something like that. Those are going to be removed. Ceiling fans should be off. And if you'll notice the lighting in the ceiling fans, and then let's take you right over here to the lighting in the kitchen. You'll notice how these are a different color than these. The same color lighting throughout the listing is always going to help. It just makes things look more even, more professional. Then what we're going to do is we are going to turn all the lights on in the listing. If it is a light, it needs to be on. And here's something that we run into a lot. And what Christy's doing right now is she's found the blinds that are not working properly. The lines here were messed up. Okay, the human eye loves symmetry. The more symmetrical we can make things, the better. So we just want things tidied up. If you notice, when you get to your listing, there's clutter. The more clutter, the worse. And please understand this up front. We are photographers and imagery experts. We are not movers. We're not cleaners. Okay, what Christy's doing now, she's in the bathroom. We want to always make sure that the toilet lid is on correctly and the seat is always down. No yawning toilets. You notice in this room that the ceiling fan is on. We're going to want those turned off, because what we do is called HDR photography. It stands for high dynamic range. Okay, so what we do is we take 7 images, 5 to 7 images of the same thing at different exposure levels, and we combine them all into one. If you have movement like this, or like flags, things like that, please know that that is going to cause what is called ghosting on your photos, okay? Ghosting is not gonna look good. You're not gonna be happy with it. So we always wanna make sure and turn these things off. Lighting needs to be on, fans need to be off. You would not believe how many times we walk into a listing and light bulbs are out or missing. All the light bulbs need to be in place, and they need to be the same color. That makes your listing look more complete, more professional. One of the things that we're going to ask you when we get to your listing is about the fireplace. Does the fireplace work? If you know, let us know, because we'll put flames in it. But if the fireplace does not work, or you do not know that it works, then we need to know that. That way we can put a disclaimer on it that protects you. We don't want somebody coming into the listing and lighting the fireplace the first day of winter and only to find out it's been sealed off and now they have smoke damage, and now they're blaming you, the realtor. One thing I want to talk to you guys about real quick is why do we want things to look a certain way? Why do we want the light colors to all be the same? Why do we want blinds to be a certain way? All this kind of stuff. And the simple answer for that is what we in marketing call perceived value, okay? Human nature is that we tend to assign things value within 2 seconds after we see it. Okay, your mama always told you you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Well, that's ultra true. Okay, and the simple fact of the matter is, what we as human beings do is we assign value to things because guess what? They look better. All right, so a lot of realtors will come up to us and ask us, you know, if there's stains on the carpet or holes in the walls or just you name it, you know, things like that. Can you go through and Photoshop those out? And the simple fact of the matter is, yes, we can, but we're not gonna. It's not gonna happen, so don't even ask. And the reason for that is it comes down to a trust issue with you. You can imagine if you are a buyer for a prospective listing and you walk into the place and it looks nothing like what the MLS showed it to be. You're like, hey, the MLS didn't show all these holes in the walls. That, you know, your photos, your imagery didn't show, you know, the carpets being whatever and cracks in the walls and all this kind of stuff. What happened? So automatically, I don't trust either of the realtors anymore. I don't trust the listing anymore. There's a lot of trust issues there that have now been broken. Okay, because you wanted to make the listing look better than it is. Okay, and yes, we spoke earlier about perceived value, and that is a thing, that is a consideration, but there's a fine line that we have to walk between perceived value and lying to people. Okay, we're not going to lie to people to move your listing. It's not going to happen. You shouldn't either. You know, horror has a whole code of ethics, and that's part of it. So no, we're not going to fix things like that. So before you ask, the better solution is on a higher end listing, especially if you can have that stuff fixed and ready to go when we get here. Am I on your way? Okay. All right. I got to check with our photographer because she's really the boss in the operation here. And you always want to have the grass mowed, the bushes and stuff trimmed. You want that curb appeal. We've all heard the term curb appeal. That's what we're looking for here, is a fabulous curb appeal. You want that stuff done. Obviously you see the blinds are closed. Do you see it from out here? And that's why we stage the blinds and turn on all the exterior lights, because it just makes it more appealing, more inviting. It's a warmer look. And we want that to come across to the viewer and to the prospective buyer. All right, so we got all the drone stuff done. This listing is coming right along. We've got the exterior shot. We've got most of the interior shot. The realtor has taken measurements at this point so that this thing can be ready to go and on the market tomorrow. That about does it here for today. Again, this has been very, very simple. A lot of people already know what we talked about, but I figured we'd start at a baseline and work from there, okay? This is very simple stuff that a lot of realtors already know, but and pay attention, because you may know it in your head, but not practice it, okay? Yes, the market has been incredibly hot lately. In my opinion and in my observation, it is cooling off, okay? We watch the market like a hawk, and we offer analytics with our tours, and we watch those analytics very closely. And 6 months ago, you could take a picture of a trash can, set it by a curb, offer it for $500,000 on the MLS and get 10 offers in the first day of, $50,000 over asking. Okay, yeah, I'm being a little facetious there, but the time between when we would put a listing on the market and it went under contract 6 months ago was about a day and a half. Yeah, literally. Some of those didn't even make the market, to be honest. But now we've upped that. It's now 9.73 days before a listing, on average, before a listing goes under contract. So yes, the market is slowing down, and we've perhaps built some bad habits as realtors, or I'm not a realtor, but you've perhaps built some bad habits while the market was hot. It's time to start changing that. Where's your portfolio? Do you have a standard that you can take to your sellers and say, this is my standard for my listings? If you don't have one of those, get it. If the company that you hire as an imagery company doesn't offer that, come to us because we do, okay? You'll have every listing you ever shoot with us, that you hire us to shoot, will be right there under one link. You can hand that to your prospective sellers and say, here's my standard, this is what we do, this is how you're listing, this is how we're gonna treat your listing. And moving forward, that's gonna be invaluable. So again, John Duncan, Tejas Imagery and Media Services, and I'll catch you on the next one.